Welcome to another day in the life of Cindy and Mountains to Molehills. I just want to ask, how many of you struggle with change? How many of you had change just come at you full force and you're like, what am I going to do? How do I right side the ship? How do I figure out where I'm supposed to be? What doors are opening? Which doors are closing? We all have to sit and think. Sometimes our worlds all get a little crazy. So here's another day in the saga of working at my current job. As I told you last time, things kind of went sideways, and I was just notified again that one of the EC board members has resigned, and my life just continues to get more interesting and more interesting. And at times I just have to sit back and say, grab me another bowl of popcorn, maybe a whiskey old fashioned, and sit back and see what is going to happen with this crazy world. I just don't know. At my age, I'm 62, and I'm deciding, where do I go in this life? Do I continue to work? Do I just plug through and be miserable for a couple years? Or is God going to wait and see? Is he going to wait and see my move? What am I thinking? Am I really listening to what he's telling me? Kind of between a rock and a hard place, but waiting I am. Do you stop and ask yourself, what is the right next step? I'm not sure if I shared with you last week, but my next right step for me is I joined Stage Time University. It is a class taught by Mark Brown and Darren LaCroix, and I am going to work with them to hone some of my public speaking skills. I've had one class, it's every week, and then I can work through the program at my own pace. Kind of excited. It's something new for me to do. It's going to challenge me. I am going to learn a ton about being a better presenter, but I am waiting to see if I'm going to end up taking that full time. After talking to a few people, I'm just not sure if the company is going to stay looking as it is right now, or if perhaps the company will restructure and do some different things. I am going to hold tight for now and try to figure out if God wants me to wait, if he's going to open another door. I don't want to jump ship. I have done that before, and I've been too hasty in my decisions. So I am just trying to wait. Patience is not my strong suit, as most of you people know. I just don't like to wait. I like to just be in control and make decisions and know what is headed in my direction. Right now, I don't feel I can do that, other than investing in Stage Time. So I am anxious to see how that goes. But I'm going to move forward on my Toastmasters as well. And this week, I'm going to do something totally different. I am working through my path of presentation mastery, and I am going to give a speech this next week that is going to be interrupted by some of my fellow Toastmasters. I'm not going to know who's going to have what roles, but I am going to learn how to handle a difficult audience. Much like maybe a really bad comedian gets harassed and heckled from the crowd, I have to learn how to handle that. What if I decide to present to teenagers or older adults who just like to be crabby? I have to learn how to deal with them. Or the people who just like to talk during a presentation. I am going to learn a big skill. I'm going to put that in my little tool belt, and I am going to work with my fellow Toastmasters to try to gain some skills. I am going to be giving a presentation on whether or not it's a good idea, so they can argue the fact, I should step into arena, and have they ever tried to step into a different arena than what they're currently in? Should I be hiring a professional speaker, a coach, a mentor? Is it worth the investment? And I would like to hear some other pros and cons. I've weighed it out. I've decided whether it's a good investment for me. And as my full-time job as a financial person is perhaps coming to a close or going to change, I have to be ready. I have to prepare myself and be ready to take the next step. I don't want to wait in 6 months if I don't have a job and then trying to figure it out. I think God gives us a brain to think through processes and trying to figure out what the right next thing is. Again, I am seeking Him. I have been praying, God, where do you want me? What do you want this to look like for me? I don't know. Go ahead, give me some ideas. What do you think people should do at my age? I don't want to retire yet. I don't know that people should ever retire, but I am going to push myself forward to get on a new trajectory in a new career path. I think that is where God is leading me, but I'm also being very cautious as I move through it. What are your thoughts? Ideas? What have you had to do when your career path has shifted and changed?